All right. I'm in the Extreme Hills tournament in the opening round of the rookie division. I'm in my practice account. I'm going to get one more good round to practice here. I'm really starting to try and work on my elevations. So trying to dial in the numbers. There's a few of the holes I have to do a little bit different stuff with this account just because I don't have the ball inventory. But for the most part, most of the shots are the same. So let's go check them out. I'm going to try and shoot this in 9 holes in a video. So it'll be straight through. So hole number 1, Eagle Peak, hole number 1. Number 2, number 1. Press the right button. All right. I'm laying it up here by these sand traps and then trying to run it straight up to the hole. I am using where I'm following my ball guide behind it, following it back down to the hole. Just need to hit perfect into the cup. Of the par 4s in this tournament, this one, in my opinion, is the toughest. And hole number 5 is the second toughest, and hole number 8 is the easiest, if you want to call that easy. I'm going to use a Titan, the king of balls. Let's open that. Let's get that one rolling. Let's be optimistic. Say we'll win some. Win some. Hole number 1, I'm going to do 1.5 backspin, plus 20% on the drive, plus 10 on the approach to the cup. If we can get it connected. 1.5 backspin. I'm going to add 20% onto that, so it's going to be 4.8. 100% accurate club. Doing almost a full ring set. And it is way downhill. Hitting it perfect. Ooh, close. Close. Very close. Almost too close. Almost too close. Anything great to the left right there would probably be in the sand. I might be pushing my luck on that. I need to start off a little bit farther to the right. See which way my opponent's going. They're going into the sand. All right, you saw how to miss the sand, and you saw how to get into the sand. Based on how they set that shot up, I'm not sure what they thought was going to happen other than getting into the sand. Max backspin. So it's 1.1 times 2.7 equals divided by 0.2. 2.5 rings. I'm actually up there a little bit farther. I'm actually right at Min Club. 2.5 rings. There's 1, 2, half. Try and hit it perfect. Oh, got it great to the right. Great to the right. Da 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 da. Well, what do you know? Woo! Helped out my opponent. I am still trying to wake up. It is like 5 o'clock in the morning here at my house. I woke up from a dead sleep, and I have a cup of coffee in front of me, and I've had like 2 sips off of it. So the good news is that they are able to make it from there with a Malibu. So if you ended up in the sand there and you had a Spitfire, you'd definitely be able to make it. Of course, they tried to hit through the trees. which is never good. Good game. Good luck in the tournament. Save them. All right, that was hole one. That's how to get that done. I really think the minimum score in this tournament is minus 12, and based off what I've seen so far this week, anything, if you can shoot anything above better than minus 28, you're giving yourself an opportunity for a banner. It's just going to all depend on brackets. You could be in some brackets and shoot a 28 and you could win, but I think anything better than a 28, you're putting yourself in at least a position to get a banner. All right, hole number two. Hole number two. What is hole number two? I don't even remember. Hole number two is Eagle Peak, hole number 4. All right, I'm using a Grizzly and a Quasar. Let me look at my notes here. Let me grab my bag first. Now let me look at my notes so I know exactly what I'm doing here. Grizzly, Quasar. Okay, so my notes say Grizzly, Quasar. I'm going to be 2 rings off the transitional surface down at the bottom. I'm doing the bounce over. It's about 1.5 top spin, maximum right-hand side spin, plus 20%. And the ball guide's going to be a little short of the hole because it's running up that hill. And if you put your ball guide right at the cup, I found that it runs past the cup about maybe 5 yards. And it runs past it just at the right speed that if you were on the right trajectory, it might bounce off the flagpole or bounce over the hole. All right, here we go. Hopefully everybody's having a great tournament. Chilling out, having some fun. We take these tournaments so seriously. It's almost like it's a grind where we're not having any fun anymore when we're playing tournaments. And tournaments should be fun. It gets more serious if you're in contention every week for a top 10, looking at a banner, trying to get a banner every week. You can put a lot of pressure on yourself and you can end up not having any fun, and that's part of sports. And you can have fun when you're practicing and have fun when you're out there, but when the rubber meets the road, you always want to do well. Max about 1.5, 2 rings off. Go right at it. And a little to the right. Okay, 5, 6 rings. Hit it. Perfect. See if I can get it in the cup. Just a bit on the other side. The other day I lined that up, and I was actually lined up. I lined it up, and I was lined up a little bit to the right of the cup, and it went right where I aimed it. And today, I think my angle, my line at it was pretty dang close to right at it. There's a little bit of a break coming up to it. This is just going to be one of those holes that I'm not absolutely convinced that whatever I do on it, that my chances of hole in one are super high. But I am giving it the college try. It's a draw. The UW. I am not going to practice this hole. I got this hole down. The University of Wisconsin Badgers. All right. Good luck in the tournament. Let's go to hole number 3. Hole number 3, Greenberg Slopes. Hole number 2. Greenberg Slopes, hole number 2. Let's see here. This is the first of the Greenberg Slope holes. Greenberg Slopes, hole number 2. All right. I'm having to play this a little different in this account because in my main account, I've got a 5 power ball and I am trying to get up into this area here. But here I don't have any 5 power balls, so I'm laying it up. Now we have choices here. I could try and get it over to the other side over here so I'm in my long iron range. And I haven't really tried that. And part of the reason I haven't tried it is because I'm at the very end of my run and I'm trying to get through this little teeny narrow gap right here. And then you have very little control when you get to the end. I'm not sure if I have to put overpower on it to get it through there. And if I've got to do an overpower shot, I'd rather go on this side because I've got plenty of fairway. The only deal here is trajectory. And here, I'm going to just lay it up here at the top. That's my plan. To get that done, I'm going to bring a Titan. Once again. An extra mile. And sniper. Titan. The king of balls. For most rookies, this tournament is sponsored by Titan. There's a lot of these holes that you can play with a Titan, and in the weekend round, you can up it to a Kingmaker, save your Kingmakers. It just cuts the wind down a little bit. If you can make great wind adjustments, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've got a 3.5 mile an hour wind or a 5 mile an hour wind if you make a great wind adjustment. But in the weekend round, it does help if you can, any little advantage that you can get is a little advantage. And it seems like here I ran all my topspin on and I ended up actually bleeding through here. I'm going to try just going for it. I'm going to try the shot and just blast it over and see what happens. Let's see how much it takes. I could get over to the other side and do the very same shot that I'm trying to do over there. I just won't get as much distance. Let me do that too. This is my practice account. I'm still messing around. Sometimes with this account, there's shots on holes like I'll talk to my teammates and we'll see a shot or they're trying something different, and so I will try something new. And what I'll do is I'll use this account to do it because I want to be super consistent in my main. This is the side that I'm hitting on my main, so it'll help me out if I can get up there. It's hit it one ring great to the right, which is not good. Slow down. Where I'm getting to in my main account is up here by this top mogul. But I think from this angle, my elevation is probably going to be about the same. Pretty close. That should put me in my hornet, and it may put me at that distance. It may put me right at about max hornet. It still might be towards mid. I know from over here it's way downhill. Way downhill. Hit the flagpole. Almost. Almost. 30% wind adjustment. 3.8. Where am I at in my club? There's max. I'm getting towards max. I'm up there towards max. So that's one per ring. Get out here where I can see what the heck's going on. I'm right at it. So it's 5 rings. And hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. With 0 time left on the clock. Ooh, just a bit outside. Just a bit outside. Which way was the wind blowing there? Wind's blowing. It might have been just a little teeny bit of an overpull. Which I find really hard to believe because that is so far downhill. But it might have been just a little bit. I'll have to go back and watch the video, and what I'll do is I'll freeze it right where I would made my adjustment, and I'll look at the wind and see where I was at as far as angles and diagnose the shot and see if I made if I made an error in my pull or what the error was. If I made an error on my part, then it's, then I'm stick with it. But if I feel like I made the right adjustment and it still ended up to the left, and seeing if I need to change my elevation number. Maybe drop it down to a 25. See if I can hit another perfect going into it. And if that doesn't work, then I'll maybe try 27.5. Keep working the number until I find something that falls in the hole. If you go back, this is why it's so important to record your own gameplay, because if you go back and you look at it and you go, damn, I did the wrong wind adjustment, or I was at the wrong angle, or I didn't have it set up right, then you can go back in there with some confidence that, hey, I can still do it. But if you made everything right and it still didn't go in the hole, then you need to make a change. What I didn't like on that shot is having to use that much backspin. I'd really rather run it up there. But I was so close to max. The closer I can get to it, the more that number's true. With my main level account, I'm getting higher up the hill. And I think that the 30% is probably right. Hole number 4. This hole right here, if I can hit this perfect, it's going in the hole. Brick Slope's hole number 3. All right, just need to hit this perfect. You hit it perfect, and we can get a hole in one right here. Maybe. I'm going to bring a sniper and a kingmaker. I'm going to bring a kingmaker and a sniper. I'm doing a 20% wind adjustment because I'm at max club. Here we roll. Hole number 4. Go for the hole. Them wily gophers. All right. My opponent goes first to get a little opportunity to look here. Check it out. Let's check out my opponent. Let's check them out and see what they got. 7,800 games. Current master. Got a bronze banner. I never look at somebody's win percentage. Look at how many tournaments that they've played in. So they may be like me where they forfeit in tournaments. It's like my main account, I think I have like a 53% win percentage, and I've had some people comment, hey, dude, you're only at 53%. I forfeited probably 1,600 matches in tournaments, and that will definitely affect your percentage. 1.2 times whatever the wind is. What is the wind? 3.6 rings. Get back here where I can see what the heck's going on. Tailing it right to the hole. 3.6 rings. See if I can get my angle right. Maybe. Oh, I get it great. Just barely made that rough. I know it came up short, but if it had hit where I wanted it to hit, it wouldn't have came up short. But that is definitely not a spot. You can get, I'm hitting that back a little bit farther, and you can hit that up a little bit farther in that hole. Number one, the sand you won't have to adjust as much over the sand, and you have a little bit better, maybe a little bit more room on the left. I'm not sure if you can give yourself much more room on the right. No perfecto. Oh, this next hole is going to be a pain. On my main account, I'm using a power 5 ball, but here I've only got power 3, so it will be and hole number 5 has always been one of those holes for me where I've been down on the bottom, I don't know how many times, and then missed the chip. It's a rough. There's no gimmies on hole number 5. Good luck in the tournament. Hole number 5. Da-da-da-da. Let's see what we got for hole number 5. Let's check it out. Let me refresh my memory, make sure I'm thinking of the right hole. Hole number 5, Eagle Peak, hole number 5. All right, let me think about this. All right, using a Titan, trying to roll it down to the bottom. Using a Titan. Extra mile? No. What I should be using here, I usually use a rock, but what I should be using is an APOC. I just got this Apocalypse. This account right here, I played the longest, and it literally just got an Apocalypse. It's been in the store quite a few times in this account for the Prism chest, and I just got that to level 5. 75% accurate, so it's 1.5 per ring. I'm going to use that. Let's try it out. I actually don't play with that Apocalypse very often because I never really had an Apocalypse. 1.5 per ring. All right, let's try. Let's see if we can get it down there. Anywhere we can get it down there, as long as I'm not in the trees, I'm okay. But let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can get done. In my main account, my 77 account, I'm using a rock and a 5 power ball, so I don't have to do very much overpower at all. I used to hit this with a power 4 ball. I was trying to save power 5 balls, but it is easier with a power 5 ball. If you're playing from the Pro Tees and you have a power 5 ball, I'm pretty sure you're doing max overpower. They hit it perfect. Let's see if they caught the right spot. Yep, they hit. Now let's see if they can stay out of the sand. And they did not. Been in that sand quite a few times. Tighten. Yeah, I'm going to do max overpower, so that's going to put me in that area, and it's pushing me 3, 4. So it's pushing me out there towards my blue ring. Oh man, I was getting so much lag there. I'm surprised I hit it. I have more room on the right, but not that much more room. The way that I'm setting that shot up, I have more room on the right. So if I catch a shot great to the right, I have a little more room over there when I'm doing overpower. I'm trying to give myself more room on one side or the other. So, and I'm trying to hit it from the left to the right. And usually when I'm hitting it on the left to the right, I'll be a little late and I'll catch a great to the right. But the lag there was horrendous. I've seen a lot. It happens every tournament, but this particular tournament, it just seems like everybody. I don't know if it's more pronounced, but I'm getting a lot of teammates that are having big lag issues on some of these holes. And this has got to be like 7 miles downhill. There's Max Club. Three five. I'm gonna do 3.5 times 1.5. I'm gonna do a 5 ring pull. If I can get the right spot here. Hey, hey, hey. Oh shit. Out of time. Went from trying to get an eagle to ending up with a par. Now I'm really gonna have to make this shot. Rookie. That's all right. It's not the end of the world. That's why it's my practice account. Let's quit dicking around. Should be right at max club. 3.4. 5 ring pull. Can I even get a view? Hit it great. Close. It actually was pretty close. Pretty close for that. Ending up with a par. What an epic fail. What an epic fail. I've if you've watched my walkthrough and I've talked about these holes you can go back on every single tournament that this hole has been in. And I've been a big fan of that. Hitting up there at the top is a losing proposition. I would rather end up at the sand or in the rough in the bottom than end up there in the top. I should have just bagged it and just hit it up there and and that would have been the smart thing to do. When you end up in you end up in a spot where you're having a spot of bother, just get it on the green. Just get it on the green, get your putt and move on. Or you can go get a par. Hole number 6, Eagle Peak, hole number 9. All right, I'm hitting down on the bottom, and I was trying to use my tail, and I'm getting some lag here. Hold on. Fire that back up. It is 5:53 in the morning. Nobody's on my internet. And the game is laggy. All right. I'm hitting. Are you going to let me do the thing? There you go. Take this back right here, and I'm going to take a Titan. Hole number 6, and I'm doing a, yeah, 2. I'm going to the +9 mark. I'm doing max backspin. And I was doing +10 on the drive, but I'm going to do +20 on the drive. I mean, I'm like right down to the end of that, right down to the end of this arm over here on the right-hand side. I have not picked up an Albie all week, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I very seldom ever go a tournament without getting Albies. I kind of like it when I go into the weekend round and I haven't hit an Albie yet, because I know like my odds are pretty good that I'm going to pick up an Albie in one of my accounts. I don't play that many accounts. I know a lot of people play 6, 8, 12, 20 accounts. A lot of the people that you see stream and post content, they actually have tons of accounts and they only show a few. I have 3. I have a low level account. This is my proxy account, and then my main. That's it. Max backspin, a little bit of side spin. See where it says +16? I'm going to play that to +9. I want to be dead center in the middle of that fairway. I'm going to do a 20% wind adjustment. So about 2.8 rings. About 2.8. I'm going to lean against the nubs just a little to the left. And hit it great to the right. Just trying to get down there to the end. That should give me a nice sniper shot going to the cup. I'm doing 10% to the cup. Am I doing 10% to the cup? No, I'm doing 15% to the cup. I keep ending up on the left-hand side. So the wind is throwing me off to the left-hand side, and I've been doing a 10%, and I keep ending up to the left-hand side. So I'm going to up that to 15 to see if I can get on the cup or even end up on the right-hand side of the cup. Hit several perfects in here, and I keep ending up on the left-hand side. I found from the side that my opponent's on, it's just tough. That's a tough side over there to go at it. And I'm just going to go right at it. Let's see if I'm going at it. I am going at it, and I'm off on the right-hand side. So it's 2.7. So it's 3.1 rings. There's 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, of course, I'd make the 15% for the first time, and I hit it great to the left. And it went great to the left. Yo left, yo left. And I'm slacking. I'm only like halfway through my first cup of coffee. Come on. It seems laggy. I wasn't getting any lag for the first 3 or 4 holes, and then all of a sudden now I'm starting to get a little laggy. If you talk to Playdemic, it's always your fault. It's never on their side. So if it was just you and your opponent, they've got hardware that's in between us and the opponent, and software that's in between. And so it's always our fault. It's never their fault. So I guess their stuff is like always perfect. All right. What are we on? Oh, hole 7. Hole 7. Nobody wants to just go, hey, man, sorry, it's our fault. Nobody wants to admit any error. Grimberg Slopes, hole 5. Grimberg Slopes, hole number 5. Da-da-da-da. What is hole number 5? All right, it's this freaking hole right here. Okay, so here's the deal. Let me tell you what I'm doing on this hole, so when you see this, you understand what's happening. I don't care. I have no idea where I'm at in my club. I think I'm in mid club. I think maybe I'm using a grizzly, and it hits 1 per ring at max. It's 100% accurate. Okay? I'm gonna stick with 1 per ring. I don't care where it's at in my club. I don't care if I'm dead center in the middle. I don't care if it's at min. I don't care. I don't care where it's at in my club. I'm sticking with 1 per ring, and then I'm working an elevation number to try and dial it up to the cup. So I came here at 1 per ring, and I didn't do any elevation adjustment, and the wind pushed me off the cup in such a way that it looks like I need to do a 10% adjustment. So I have no idea. It's one of those holes that I don't know what the community is telling people to do. I'm working that for my club from where I'm at 1 per ring, because it's easy to do the math. And I'm doing a 10% wind adjustment. That's where I'm at right now. And this is a hole that I'm just going to work on all week long and just keep dialing it in and try and get it dialed into the cup. Make sure I got a grizzly. And I'm bringing a Titan. Only because I don't have a lot of kingmakers. Yeah, I'll bring a kingmaker. I might need that side spin. Grizzly. And we'll cut the wind down just a bit. 1.1 times whatever the wind is. Divided by 1. Sometimes when you're using, especially if you're using, this is one of the benefits of using 100% accurate clubs is they're 1 per ring. So if you got a 2-mile-an-hour wind and you're adding on 10%, that's 2.2. And if you've got a 100% accurate club, that's 2.2 rings. And so if you're going, well, I'm going to do it at mid club, so now you got to divide that 2.2 by whatever your mid number is. And so that's one more step. So if you do the reverse math, all right, we're down in this area, dialing it up to the cup. Make sure I'm going right at it. It's 2.9, so it's 3.2 rings. One, two, three, 2. Oh, damn it. Now I can't hit perfect. The good news is that I hit it great to the right and it went great to the right. So I feel pretty good about that adjustment. If I can hit it perfect, then I can really start to tighten that up. Why were you giving me stuff during my shot there, dude? So this person here's got 1,457 games and they're already at master. So they got 143 million won in 773 games. So 143 million divided by 773 games. Their average win is 184,000. So they're playing up tour 7, tour 8, trying to get open bigger chests. so they can get more club cards, and they've raised themselves up to master. And if they're playing me, that means that they may have gotten their at least Masters 1. But it does not do. Now, if you've got a second account, you got a secondary account, and you raise it up to Masters, you're an experienced player. You're going to be playing against experienced players. If you're new and you raise your account to Masters, you're going to be playing against experienced players. I'm not a fan of running your accounts up and moving them up the charts. The community tells you to run it up as fast as you can. You gotta go up as fast as you can. And then they wonder why they're in brackets that are always, they're playing against really experienced players, and then they're bitching, all the people I'm playing against are really experienced. Well, dude, you're the one that brought your account to Masters. If you brought your account to Masters, you're going to be playing against people who are Masters. All right, hole number 8. This is another one of those holes that it really helps to have a 5-power ball, because you can do it with no overpower with a 5-power ball. Hole number 8, Greenberg Slopes, hole number 1. All right, the tooth hole. This is the hole of dentistry. All right. Now you can lay it up there and then take the shot coming in. If you're playing a pro, you're more than likely laying it up in front and then taking the shot coming in, and it's definitely uphill on the second shot. So you have to take some wind off. Let's open up that chest. I'm sure there's one behind it. Get another one rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Get them chests a rolling, roll on. I feel like sometimes when you're playing this game, you got to fire up the tractor and stuff. We're farmers. If you play the castle building games, everybody makes fun of farmers. And the reason they make fun of farmers is because you can buy all that stuff. So, or you can farm it. A lot of the big guys, they don't farm. Spend lots and lots of money. You can spend lots of money in this game. That's the deal, is nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about what you should be doing, but nobody wants to talk about the fact that if you go up, some of my teammates are finding out just going up to pro, like where your ball inventory is and what you have to use on some of these holes, that you're going to roll through your ball inventory. And if you're getting good finishes, you're going to win some of those balls back. Stick, stick, stick. Nice shot. Nice shot. Okay, I want it to go right in that area right there. So 3-2. To go right there. So it's 3-2. Adding on 10%. So it's going to be about 3-6. So we're pull it over there. Hitting it perfect. Man, I was getting some serious lag there. Let's see if I can get my trajectory right. Just barely. Look at the lag that I'm getting. Big time lag. And that is no gimme from that spot. I'm just shooting the -12 right now because I dropped hole number 5 and got a par. I did pick up hole number 1. I'm going to have to pick up at least one shot on a side in order to make the weekend round in this account. Serious lag. This is not, from this distance, wind is definitely going to play a factor. Stay on the inside of the cup. Hitting it perfect. In hole. And you can see where it hit right there. It hit on the left-hand side of the flagpole. So, I mean, it hit the flagpole, but it hit on the left-hand side of the flagpole. And I was just on the inside of the cup on the right-hand side. So from that distance, I count half the cup as 4 miles per hour, and it was a 3.5 wind. So it was right there at that deal. But that's one of those ones where I probably could have hit a perfect and a great to the right, but a great to the left would have missed. Giving myself 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Good luck in the tournament. All right, picking up one of the par 4s after my epic fail on hole number 5. Hole number 9. Let's go look at hole number 9. What is hole number 9? It's Grunberg Slopes, hole number 9, and I'm using a Titan. And I'm trying to bounce out over into this area right here to get into my mid-short iron range. I mean, the lag is like serious here. Isn't that bag right there? And a Titan, the king of balls. And I want to give myself on this. I really think that I would have to epic fail on this drive shot. Now, I can hit it too far forward. If I catch a 2-ring great to the left, it'll still make it over to the other side, but it'll end up dribbling into the rough. If I hit a 2-ring great to the right, I could epic fail and it could end up in the rough, but it's at the very end of the run. What you don't want to do is fail on the first fairway that you're hitting to. You don't want to end up in the sand. You don't want to end up on this fairway epic failing. You want to epic fail on the other side. I want to be 3 rings off of that sand. Give myself plenty of room. I don't need quite that much side spin. Maybe 2. I'm going to leave that wind in. All right. Give myself plenty of room. Get 1 ring great to the right. Trying to get over to the other side. Trying to get out there in my mid short iron range. I brought a power 4 ball in my main account, and I really wasn't in any different spot. And now it doesn't look like you're that uphill coming into the shot, but it's deceiving. I'm going to do a 30% wind adjustment, and it doesn't seem like you're that far uphill, but you can't even get close to your ring set. I have a lot of teammates that are hitting it off to the left. They're having pretty good success over there. There is a nice little trough shot over there that kind of feeds into the cup. should be at mid club, so it should be at 1.75 per ring. Let's check. There's max. Max club, so it's 1 per ring. Put on just a titch of backspin. Right up to the hole. Let's go down there and check that out. I'm a little to the right. So it's 2.5. It's 3.25 rings. 3.3. There's 1, 2, 3. Ah, I'm going to time out again. Isn't it perfect? I made a bad wind adjustment there. I was timing out. Forgot where I was at. Ooh! Just off the outside of the cup. I'm so used to using the center of my ball guide as my ending spot, but it's hard to find the center of your ball guide, especially when you're way uphill like that. So I was trying to use the outside edge of, I believe, my white ring, and then pull out 3.25 rings, and then I forgot where I started. So it should have been all of my white, all of my clear, all my blue, and I should have been a quarter of the way into my orange. That was not good. Not good. Had the right distance though. All right, I dropped the shot on the front. Dinking around on hole number 5. My goal is minus 14 aside to put me at 28. So anything I can pick up on 28, I think I put myself in a pretty good spot. If you're plus 28, 29, 30, 31, anything above 28, you're putting yourself in at least a position to get a banner. So I know the minimum score is 12, but my minimum score that I'm really looking for to set myself up is minus 14 per side. So I'm 1 off on that. So that means I got to pick it up on the back. I got to shoot a minus 15 on the back. How much time we got on this video? We got just enough time, just barely. One more practice round under my belt. Good luck in the tournament. Tammy from the Slice and Hook A Clan. All right, coming in with a minus 13. You can see minus 13 is going to be a popular score here. When this is all done, because this is a fairly new bracket, coming into this bracket, the minimum score, this is in a Ricky Masters bracket, the minimum score was minus 13, and coming into this bracket, pretty much everybody here has shot at, this is the score. So to get into the weekend round, you're going to have to shoot. You can't shoot the minimum score to get in. You're going to have to shoot better than the minimum score. Some minus 25s might make it, but you're going to have to shoot minus 26 or better in order to get in. And with my tiebreaker of 13, it'll be tight coming into the weekend round. So there's going to be a lot of 26s down here. Like I said, maybe a few 25s will make it, but not very many. It'll be 26 or better in order to make the weekend bracket. And it could very easily end up being where there's some 26s that don't make it. So it'll be really tight, and it'll be super tight all the way up to the top. The top scores aren't going to necessarily be any higher than any other brackets. There's going to be a lot of people up here. So we got 31, 31, 29. Anything better than a 28 is going to put you, give you an opportunity. But as the bracket starts to fill out, I would say most of the people that are going to be in the top 10 are going to be, the mass majority are going to be better than 28. There may be a couple 28s in the top 10, but it's pretty much going to be, if you want to have any shot for a banner, you're going to have to shoot better than a 28. That'll be how it works in this bracket. All right. That was the front 9 of the opening round of the Extreme Hills Tournament. Thanks for watching.